One. Here we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of We Talk. I am Yolanda Nel, and I will be, for the final time, your host for today. In today's episode, we look at funeral consultation services, and it's very informative. So do stick around to that, because this is a new business venture in Namibia. And after hearing Abigail's story, it's quite interesting to know that this is the first time that this service is available in Namibia. In our recommendation segment, for the final time, we also head over to the Cancer Association's kitchen, and we are making bobotie, so do stay tuned for that. Next up, we have the news.
NMH at 1 brings you news from all corners of Namibia. NMH at 1 aims to reach viewers countrywide who are interested in current affairs in a short and sweet format. This show is broadcasted on NTV, oneup2.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: The Republican, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, Namibia Media Holdings, Irongo, and Vindic Express. To share your news or advertise on this platform, contact nmh1@synergy.com.na. NMH at 1, your lunchtime news companion.
In today's news segment, we will take a look at the International Women's Day that was commemorated yesterday on the 8th of March.
Post-COVID-19, when people can actually congregate and meet and discuss. And as we commemorate the strides that Namibia has made in attaining gender parity, we are cognizant of the fact that a lot of work still needs to be done. That, however, does not mean we can downplay the achievements of the government of the Republic of Namibia in making and achieving gender parity in our communities. Namibia today boasts a female prime minister and a deputy female prime minister, female ministers and deputy ministers such as myself, heads of state-owned institutions that are female, and even female executives in private sector. It might seem like something normal, but in some parts of the world, women cannot even go to school. They're not visible in institutions of academia, of politics, of business, and let alone be prime ministers and ministers or even professors in universities. So for us here in Namibia, having the ability to have a representation, the presence and visibility of women in almost every sector of our economy and our country is a blessing we should not take for granted. We've gathered here today as young people to celebrate International Women's Day under the theme, Cracking the Code, Innovation for a Gender Equal Future. But as we all know, the international theme is digital, innovation and technology for gender equality. For me, this theme speaks volumes and highly to my mandate as not only a lawmaker, but as a Deputy Minister of ICT. I would like us to collectively reflect on innovative ways to attain gender equality using the various digital platforms, because I believe it is absolutely possible. Technology is here to accelerate, to improve all processes to ensure that we have a better world. And that better world cannot exist without having gender equality. We all know that gender equality cannot be attained if sexual and gender-based violence, domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and sexual violence continues to be a national concern. Prof. Indongo, the statistics from the World Health Organization in 2022 just recently states that 1 in 3 women experience physical and/or sexual violence, and the majority of the perpetrators are intimate partners. This means that women and girls across the world are falling victim to violence, not from strangers most of the time, but from people they know and trust. It is very worrisome. Reports from the Demographic Health Survey produced by the National Statistics Agency in 2013, which is quite outdated data at this point because it is 10 years old and we need more relevant data, also alluded to the extent to which gender-based violence has been normalized in our society. The report refers to attitudes towards partner beating, including justifications for hitting or beating a wife or intimate partner.
Ohole So Nice is an entertainment show brought to you by the youth for the youth, aimed at having more young people showcase their individual identities. Making a good impression does not come easy. The nerves and the natural way youth interact when it comes to dating, well, this has changed over the years. This is a dating show that allows individuals to participate and be their own true selves. Ohole So Nice focuses on blind date, talk about that, news, flex your style, and more. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and on the MyZone Facebook platform. To share your experience or make your product or service part of Ohole So Nice, contact Zone at synergy.com.na. Ohole So Nice, because Sabawelling isn't enough.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am joined with Abigail and we are going to talk about Fern Funeral Solutions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Yolanda, for inviting me.
Can you quickly tell us about starting this company?
Well, I was part of an exco team of one of the leading funeral homes in Namibia until my position was made redundant last year. And since my childhood, it's always been in my nature to be kind and generous. When we were hit by the pandemic, the obvious choice was for me to give up my executive seat at head office and move down to the branch to be on the ground with my staff. It became clear that the community that we serve do not know what to do when someone passes away. With hundreds of traumatized Namibians needing funeral assistance, even my own friends and colleagues, I found it very healing to be the familiar face at the funeral home. To guide them through the process, it was husbands, wives, parents, grandparents, even a newborn. And I mean, no one visits a funeral home by choice. And the demanding nature of the funeral industry requires a special kind of person. And with all of this in mind and now being unemployed, it was simply a natural choice for me to start my own business and as a funeral consultant and assist families at their homes. And that's the first for Namibia.
Wow.
You know, when someone passes away, you need to get up, you need to shower, you need to get in the car and drive to the funeral home. You don't want to do that when you're hurting so much. So that's where the idea was born. And I also want to offer pre-planning. It might sound morbid, but leaving clear instructions for your family, it's almost like a gift, and it avoids family fights, knowing what you want to happen.
Yeah.
And you can have control over it. You can say what flowers you want. You can ask what the people should wear. So it's part of life.
That's so funny, because I was speaking to Rolf Hansen of the Cancer Association, and he said exactly that. Because we were born, we have to die. It's just part of the natural cycle of life.
That is. And I can help you prepare, not necessarily the process of dying, but prepare you for when you pass. Prepare your documents for you, get everything in order, have everything together, that you know what to do and your family knows what to do. Just there to help you. It's taking out insurance, it's paying your municipal bill. Everything is organized in your life, but no one prepares for your death.
On that note, at what age should we be doing it? Because we all want to live in this bubble where people of old age passes away, but that is just not the case, full stop. At what age do I need to get all my things ready?
I don't think there's a rule on what age, but I think it's always important to have, even if you just have a little notebook with your passwords, and someone else must know what's going on.
And please go cancel that subscription.
And go cancel the subscription. Just always keep it in a safe place where someone close to you at least knows that there's a lot that needs to happen after you pass, and things that need to be taken care of. And it's important.
Why a fern?
Why a fern? Well, I don't sleep much at night. And I was lying awake one morning, and I saw green and a leaf, and I was just having these images. I've always loved green, but something green, there's always something clean and fresh about green in any event. And I started doing some research on the phone and found the symbolism of a fern, which means eternal youth, new beginnings, humility and sincerity. And immediately it stuck with me. So contacted my friend the next morning, who's a very passionate graphic designer, and I said to her, this is the idea. She loved it, and she said, give me a few days, and she created a brand for me.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you quickly tell me, what does a funeral consultant do?
So I'm not an undertaker. An undertaker cares for and prepares the body for a burial or cremation. What I do is, when a family member passes away in hospital or old age home, you would contact me and I take over the process. From there, you can go home, you can be sad, be with your family, and look after each other at home. I call the funeral home to collect and transport your loved one to the funeral home, and then I would return to the hospital or the old age home to receive from the doctor the medical certificate and the cause of death, and I would come to you after a few hours, sit and consult with you. We complete all the paperwork, and then I'm ready to go to Home Affairs, stand in the queues, register the death, get all the supporting documents that goes with that, and make quite a number of copies, have them certified, and then we're ready to start the process with the funeral home for the burial or the cremation. And once all the documents are ready, then we continue with the process. And all the arrangements that go with the burial or with the cremation and your celebration of life that you want to do. So think wedding planner, but funeral planner. So everything you want to do. It can be as little or as much as you need me to do. Yeah. If you want to be extravagant, if you want to do it in the privacy of a venue, there's a number of options. There's no prescribed way to conduct a funeral. We all just know that we need to be there, we need to wear black, we need to... Sure, there's certain etiquette, but it can be what you want it to be.
What are the costs involved?
I charge a fixed fee for the administration that I do, and you choose the preferred funeral home in Windhoek that you would like to use, and I coordinate with them. You would pay me, and I pay all your vendors on your behalf. So I handle everything for you, your flowers, your catering, anything that you need to be done on that day. you can just get dressed and arrive at church or arrive at the venue.
It's actually interesting to know that this is the first time that something like this is available in Namibia.
Yes.
Because I remember, obviously, we all attend funerals and we all know that life ends and at some point it's going to be your family members. And
Yes.
it's draining emotionally to try and be strong and do paperwork when all you want to do is grieve.
That is for sure. And, besides that I could make a living and sustain myself, it's really something that I want to do. I want to help people. There's absolutely a need for it.
But Abigail, it doesn't stop there. You're quite involved in a number of different aspects as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I offer information sessions at various corporates or any workplace as part of their employee engagement programs or their employee wellness programs. It's also an important aspect to talk about at work while you're living. I also do talks with the Flexona organization. They offer a gap or labyrinth year for school leavers. That time before they go and study, not quite sure what they want to do. So they offer a broad scope of information sessions for them to be able to decide what they would like to do. And then I talk about death, dying, and the funeral industry.
You are also very involved with the Cancer Association.
Yes, I am. I am passionate about the Cancer Association, and with them set to open the new 16-bed palliative care centre here in Windhoek. I want to get involved, volunteer, and offer my services. And then I'm also hoping with enough personal funding that I will be able to participate in the palliative care conference in Cape Town in April. To be able to connect better with this part of the community. And it's my chance to make a difference. Feel fulfilled by something I enjoy doing and something that I'm good at.
You are also bringing in some eco-friendly products. Tell us about this.
Yes, I want to bring in various eco-friendly products and alternative sustainable options, including scattering tubes and remembrance gifts.
Why is it important to also think about the earth and going green when it comes to people passing away?
Well, traditionally you receive ashes in a wooden box and it stands there and you don't really do anything with it. So with a scattering tube or with a water scattering, you can have it's a container made from recycled bark, and you place the ashes in there and you would be able to do the water scattering and let the container float on the water, and the ashes would just gently dissipate into the water without harming the environment.
Wow.
With the scattering tubes, you can have different sizes, and then with your permission we could split the ashes into the tubes, and each family member could have their own tube to handle the scattering, that you're not fiddling with a container with ash that you need to put in.
Abigail, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for looking at this type of business venture that really can save the next person a lot of trouble while grieving.
Thank you. I look forward to serving Namibia.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
NMH at 1 brings you news from all corners of Namibia. NMH at 1 aims to reach viewers countrywide who are interested in current affairs in a short and sweet format. This show is broadcasted on NTV, oneup2.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: The Republican, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, Namibia Media Holdings, Irongo, and Windhoek Express. To share your news or advertise on this platform, contact NMH1 at synergy.com.na. NMH at 1, your lunchtime news companion.
What is a Sunday lunch in Namibia or South Africa without the bobotie? I'm Rolf Hansen of the Cancer Association of Namibia.
And I'm Yolanda Nell, and welcome to another episode of We Can Cook.
We Can Cook, and we're going to cook bobotie. Now, we all love this, but we're all afraid of cooking it. I personally do not even attempt it. I've never, because if it doesn't taste like my mother dearest, I don't want it.
Okay, but that would mean we are both bobotie virgins today.
So let's try this recipe and see if we succeed.
Right, okay, so we're starting it off with a hot pan.
And it must be nice and hot because we want to just go for those onions as fast as possible.
Yeah, we are adding to the pan together with our onions to fry.
There we go. So one onion, nice ringed up and smoked up the kitchen. Yes, perfect.
And this ought to be so easy because we're going to add our mince to it.
So once we've browned those onions a little bit, then nice mince meat. And that's what we really wanted to have, to just bring out the flavor and color as well.
And the color, yeah. Okay, Rolf, you can maybe add a little bit of salt as well.
Salt and pepper to taste.
Yes. Well, when you're cooking, it should be to taste every time.
What works for you?
Okay, well, now we can add our chutney. I'm happy that it already looks like bobotie.
I'm sure it will taste like it too. And chutney is a super Namibian and South African favorite. It brings it all together, fruity, spicy, but also that hint of sweet, because we like sweet and savory in our food always around the hips.
Rolf, and this mincemeat is done, so we can dip it up in that bowl.
Amazing.
I want to thank Checkers for their generous donation of sponsoring the ingredients.
They are amazing. So in a separate and fresh bowl, we are going to mix up our milk and egg mixture. That's the topping.
Exactly.
So let me move this one away.
So we're going to use 2 eggs.
And they need not be divided. You just chuck them in.
You just chuck them in.
Okay.
And then it's just about 50 ml of milk. If you want to, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper to this, but it is not needed because there's a lot of spices in your mixture already.
Now, I think one of the most amazing things that we as parents can do, and you're expecting number 2 soon, so we're waiting for little one to come, is when we start cooking with our children and teaching them how to cook. And these are such easy and fun recipes.
And my toddler loves to eat.
So, yeah.
And you literally just throw this over there.
So, do you add maybe a bay leaf in here as well? Because
Yes.
my mother used to do that.
Yes.
And that is the amazing thing about these recipes. They're so easy.
You bake it in the oven for 30 minutes. Right.
Et voila! Very, very nice. Amazingly beautiful. It smells great. Shall we taste?
Yes, why not?
Tourismus Namibia is a weekly tourism show that brings you the latest news in the tourism industry and topics related to that. Tourismus aims at reaching travelers, accommodation, restaurant establishments, agricultural and financial institutions. The show focuses on tourism news, where to travel to fit your budget, 4x4 drives, routes and destinations, and so much more. Tourismus is broadcasted on NTV, 102.com and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: the Republikein, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. Contact tourismus@synergy.com.na for news and advertising related queries. Tourismus, bringing the world to Namibia.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say goodbye. I will still be part of the NTV team as well as write for NMH. This has been a tremendous journey. I started We Talk back in 2018 and I was so nervous the first time I was in front of the camera and we were going live, and I feel I have really grown as a journalist and as a presenter over the last 5 years, and you will still see me busy with special projects, and maybe every now and again I will help Precious, who is very capable, and I'm leaving We Talk in very capable hands. So do stay tuned next week to see what Precious has up her sleeve. Goodbye.
2, 1.